Imagine, a single coin in your possession, one you probably have forgotten about, could be worth over $500,000. Yes, you heard that right. The 2000p mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel might just be sitting in a drawer somewhere, and its current market value is a whopping $566,780. Intrigued? Well, stay with me. We're about to dive into what makes this coin so valuable, and how you can find out if you have one too. But first, let's pause here. If you're already frantically reaching into that drawer where all the odds and ends go, don't worry, I'll wait. Just kidding, let's keep going. Today, rare coins like the 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel are skyrocketing in value, with collectors around the world prepared to pay fortunes for these hidden treasures. This isn't just a nickel, it's an untapped fortune for those lucky enough to discover it. Now, why this coin? What could make a simple nickel reach the lofty heights of $500,000? To understand the staggering worth of this coin, let's look at three key factors: rarity, demand, and minting errors. Starting with rarity, most of us tend to think of 19th century coins when we think of value, but here's the kicker: many 20th century coins, especially those minted in limited quantities or with unique markings, are highly sought after. And the 2000p Jefferson nickel is no exception. Now, did you just say to yourself, wait a second, I have some old coins? Could one of mine be this valuable? Well, let's break it down so you can find out. Collectors and coin enthusiasts hunt for pieces with unique mint marks or design quirks. The 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel was minted in Philadelphia, denoted by the small p on the coin. Coins with p marks, especially from around the 2000s, had limited production runs and occasional errors. It's these errors, the slight deviations in design, that drive collectors into bidding wars, pushing the price of coins like this into astronomical figures. So, you're probably thinking, alright, but how can I tell if my coin is the real deal? There are certain telltale signs that reveal if your nickel is one of the few that's truly rare and valuable. We'll get into that shortly, but first, let's talk about demand and why this coin holds such allure. You see, in the world of rare coins, demand isn't just about having a piece of history. It's about wealth, about legacy, about holding something truly special. Think of the collectors out there, ready to pay top dollar to add this specific coin to their vault. When a coin is rare and demand is high, it transforms from a simple nickel to a luxury asset, one that could change your life if you're lucky enough to own it. Imagine telling your friends over dinner, "Oh, I just happened to find a $500,000 coin in my pocket change." Now, that would make you the most interesting person at the table. Now that I've painted the picture of what this nickel could mean, here's the part you've been waiting for. How can you determine if your 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel is worth a fortune? There are certain things to look out for, like slight variations in the Monticello design, the clarity of Jefferson's portrait, and the condition of the coin itself. For example, coins that have remained untouched and preserved well are far more valuable. Plus, certain minting errors, such as doubling in the letters or minor cracks, can exponentially increase value. I'll walk you through these details so you can inspect your own coins and see if you've got a hidden treasure. Scene, brief pause, with a cut to a slow zoom in on the coin to emphasize the importance of close inspection. Here's where it gets critical. Many people overlook these details, but if you pay close attention, you could be holding a life-changing asset. And let me remind you, this isn't just any nickel, it's potentially $500,000 sitting in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered. Now is the time to check your coins carefully. Imagine the thrill of discovering this hidden gem, realizing that something as simple as an overlooked nickel could transform your financial future. Now that you know what to look for, I encourage you to check those coins. Take a close look at every detail, because sometimes, wealth is hidden in plain sight. And who knows? This could be the very beginning of your journey into the world of rare coins, a journey that could lead to untold wealth and an incredible story to share. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button for more insights into valuable coins, the secrets behind them, and how you can uncover hidden treasures right at home. Until next time, happy hunting, and may fortune be on your side. Imagine this: you're rummaging through an old jar of loose change that's been sitting in a drawer for years. You spot a nickel, but before you brush it off as just 5 cents, think about this. What if that tiny coin could be worth over $1 million? Yes, a 1996 Jefferson nickel with AP mint mark has sold for a staggering $1.2 million. Let that sink in. $1.2 million for a single nickel. But here's the kicker: anyone could unknowingly be holding one of these gems right now in their spare change. Could you be one of them? In this video, we're not only exploring what makes this coin worth so much, but also how you can identify if you have a fortune just lying around in your pocket. Or maybe the real question is, do you even know what to look for? Let's dive into what makes this specific 1996 Jefferson nickel stand out. First, we need to talk about the P mint mark found just above Monticello on the reverse side. But hang on, didn't almost every 1996 nickel have a P mint mark? That's the trick. You see, this particular mint mark has a subtle flaw, a misstrike if you will, that makes it incredibly rare and sought after by collectors. Now, before you go looking at every nickel under a microscope, let me explain further. Only a very specific error on a small number of these coins skyrockets their value. Think of it like finding a diamond in the rough. The mint error itself is almost invisible, but when spotted it can transform a regular nickel into a fortune. But here's a question for you: what would you do with $1 million from a single coin? A new car, a dream home, or maybe that world cruise you've been fantasizing about? Scene transition, background fades to black, then focuses on various rare coins to keep the pace engaging. Now you might be wondering, why does such a small flaw matter so much to collectors? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity is king and demand is queen. This specific coin with its rare mint mark error is a collector's holy grail. It's the scarcity combined with the backstory of its minting process that has set it apart from millions of other nickels minted that same year. You know how some people invest in stocks or gold? Collectors invest in rarity. That little flaw is like gold dust, and as the story of this coin spreads, it's only driving its value up further. It's no longer just a coin, it's a status symbol. Now here's a thought: how many nickels have you come across in your life without even a second glance? Scene transition, show images of people finding coins, adding intrigue. So now we reach the big question: how can you tell if you have one of these $1 million nickels? First off, we'll need to talk about key details. Look for the P mint mark and focus on the strike and subtle flaws visible only under a magnifying glass. But here's a cliffhanger you didn't see coming: not all 1996 P nickels with flaws are valuable. If you miss one tiny detail, it could mean the difference between 5 cents and $500,000. Let's say you find one, you might think you're ready to cash in. But this is where the journey truly begins. Rare coin dealers, auctions, even online marketplaces all have their advantages, but selling it right is crucial. You wouldn't want to miss out on its full potential value, right? Imagine holding a life-changing opportunity only to lose it by selling it short. But here's the twist: the window to cash in on these rare coins is closing fast. As more people become aware of the 1996 P nickel's value, the rarity decreases. With each one sold and taken out of circulation, the market becomes more saturated, which could lower the demand and the final sale price. That's why, if you're serious about this, you need to act now. Find that nickel, get it appraised, and if you strike gold, don't hold back. Imagine what that kind of money could mean for you: a fresh start, financial freedom, even the chance to retire earlier than planned, and all from a single nickel. So go ahead, check those jars, those drawers, even the pockets of jackets you haven't worn in years. Who knows, you might be holding the key to a fortune right in your own home. And if you do find one, let us know what dreams it unlocked, because stories like this remind us that sometimes the biggest treasures come from the smallest places. You're casually sifting through your old change drawer when you stumble upon a dusty nickel from 1990. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that this exact coin could be worth, brace yourself, over $1 million? Sounds unbelievable? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through every critical detail of the 1990 P mint mark Jefferson nickel, from its unique features to why collectors are willing to pay top dollar. By the end, you might just find yourself raiding every drawer in your house. Let's dive in. First, let's take a quick journey back to the year 1990. Gas was $1 a gallon, people were hooked on Twin Peaks, and a seemingly regular nickel quietly rolled off the US mint presses, only to later be identified as a true gem. This wasn't just any coin. It was a 1990 P mint mark Jefferson nickel, an elusive piece of American history that, today, is valued at a staggering $1.2 million in pristine condition. But why? Why is this particular nickel so valuable? Let's be honest, How many times have you tossed a nickel, thinking it's practically worthless? If you're like most people, the answer is probably every time. But hold that thought. Rare coins tend to carry stories that add to their mystique. And the 1990 Jefferson Nickel is no exception. Coins minted in Philadelphia were often released in large numbers, making them quite common. But here's the twist: very few of these coins were kept in their original, untouched condition. And today, a handful of collectors are willing to pay small fortunes to get their hands on a perfect, high-grade 1990p Jefferson nickel. Let's dig into why they're willing to pay that much and how it impacts you. To understand this coin's insane value, let's get technical for a moment. The 1990p mint-marked Jefferson nickel has specific characteristics that make it unique. Its obverse features a distinguished profile of President Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. But there's more to it than what meets the eye. Many of the rarest nickels have fine details and remarkable minting quality that make them stand out. Coins with deep mirror-like surfaces or sharply struck details are the ones that skyrocket in value. And I know what you're thinking, yeah, but can a nickel really be worth $1 million? Well, yes, if it has these rare qualities. Now, let's talk about the market demand, because this is where things get exciting. In the world of rare coins, it's not just about what you're holding but who's willing to buy. Wealthy collectors, often more passionate than logical, compete for pieces like this, leading to jaw-dropping prices. The highest-grade nickels, those without a single scratch or dent, held in immaculate condition, are often seen as tiny pieces of art. And as time passes, they only become rarer. Think about it: how many 1990 nickels are still sitting untouched, preserved as if they just rolled off the mint? Very few. And that's precisely why collectors are ready to shell out over $1 million. Now, here's where it gets crucial for you. If you happen to own a 1990p mint-marked Jefferson nickel, now might be the best time to check it out. With the recent surge in demand for rare American coins, experts believe that prices will only continue to climb. Missing out on a potential fortune could be as simple as not knowing what to look for. That's why I'm here to guide you through how to spot if you have one of these hidden gems. And if you're still not sure where to begin, don't worry, we're just getting to the important part. Start by examining your nickel's condition. Does it have sharp, clear details? Any signs of wear or scratches will reduce its value, but a pristine 1990 nickel could be worth more than you might imagine. Professional grading services can authenticate and appraise coins, giving you an accurate valuation. And if you think that sounds like a hassle, remember that we're talking about potentially cashing in on $1 million payday. So, are you ready to see if your old change might hold a ticket to a life-changing fortune? Many people don't realize that the next major coin discovery could be sitting right under their nose. If you've got a 1990p mint-marked Jefferson nickel, don't ignore it. Every detail could make the difference between an ordinary coin and a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. Who knows? The next millionaire might just be you. Go check your coins, because that $1 million discovery could be waiting, right in your own pocket. Welcome to a journey that could change the way you see your pocket change. Imagine holding a 1987 Jefferson nickel, not realizing its worth, drumroll please, up to $1.3 million. That's right. For the cost of a 5-cent coin, you could be holding a fortune. But before you go scrambling for every nickel in your change jar, let's dive into exactly why this coin stands out and what it could mean for you. Now, you might be thinking, $1 million nickel? Are we in some kind of sci-fi movie? Stick with me, and by the end, you'll know how even a seemingly ordinary nickel could hold the key to extraordinary wealth. Alright, so what makes the 1987 Jefferson nickel so special? Unlike your typical, run-of-the-mill coins, this one has a backstory. Picture 1987, mullets, neon everything, and a U.S. mint that was unknowingly crafting a handful of nickels that would turn into collector's gold. Specifically, the Denver Mint, with a unique D mark, created these coins with slight differences that collectors today are paying massive sums for. The world of rare coins is about more than just metal. It's about history, scarcity, and the mystery of errors, quirks that set specific coins apart. for this 1987 Jefferson nickel, there's a twist. Some of these coins have unique markings, unintentional errors, or even a certain sheen that die-hard collectors go wild for. It's like owning a ticket to a treasure hunt that's right in front of you, hidden in plain sight. But here's the twist. While thousands of 1987 nickels were minted, only a rare few have these distinctive features, making them incredibly valuable. So, as you're watching, keep asking yourself, do I have one of these nickels lying around? So next time you're about to toss that nickel into a tip jar, maybe stop and think, could it be the key to a new life? Stranger things have happened. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Experts believe that less than 1% of these nickels have the special qualities collectors are after. And the value of these coins? It's skyrocketing. Imagine being one of the few people in the country who unknowingly owns a piece of this hidden wealth. So, how do you know if you have this hidden gem? First, grab any 1987 nickel you can find and check for specific characteristics. Look for small flaws or errors, like double-stamped features, unusual smoothness, or a slightly different color. These tiny details are what set million-dollar nickels apart from regular ones. Next, if you find anything out of the ordinary, get it appraised. There are expert appraisers and collectors out there who specialize in identifying rare, valuable coins, and they'll tell you if you're sitting on a fortune. You might be looking at your ticket to wealth and not even know it. But here's the thing. Only a few of these 1987 nickels have actually been verified and sold for these sky-high amounts. Could there be more out there waiting to be found? Could you be one of the few who stumbles upon this untapped fortune? Imagine being the person who discovers that life-changing nickel tucked away in an old drawer. If you're suddenly feeling a strong urge to check under your couch cushions, you're not alone. Now's the time to start looking through that loose change, asking yourself the big question. Am I holding on to something worth $1 million? Don't let this moment slip by. Subscribe to learn more tips on spotting valuable coins, and let's uncover your hidden fortune together. Imagine you're holding an unassuming nickel. It's worn, a little dinged, and has probably been in circulation for decades. But here's the twist. This very nickel might be worth over $250,000. Yes, a Monticello Jefferson nickel, minted in 2022 with a PE mark, could hold life-changing value. Intrigued? You should be. In this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know to identify whether you own one of these rare and valuable nickels, and if so, exactly how to capitalize on it. Stick with me until the end, because this could be the moment that transforms your old change into a small fortune. Ready to find out if your humble nickel holds a hidden jackpot? Let's dive in. So, how did a simple Jefferson nickel come to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and of course, that all-important PE mint mark. Now, let's break this down. In 2022, the Philadelphia Mint produced limited runs of the Monticello Jefferson nickel, each one bearing that small but powerful PE symbol. Unlike the more commonly circulated nickels, this particular edition featured characteristics that experts say are unique: a slight variation in design, minute minting errors, and exceptional quality that collectors are now paying staggering sums to own. But here's the thing, they're hard to come by. A quick question before we go on. Did you check your pockets yet? Maybe your car's cup holder? You might have one of these right within reach and not even realize it. If you're like most people, you probably haven't thought much about the nickels you see every day. But after today, that could change. Now, how can you tell if your Monticello nickel is the real deal? Don't worry. I'm about to reveal a simple way to identify if your nickel holds hidden value. Alright, let's get down to business. First, take a look at your coin. You'll notice the distinct portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and the classic image of his Monticello estate on the back. But here's where things get interesting. You're looking for a tiny P mint mark on the obverse side, right near Jefferson's ponytail. Now, this P mark isn't just a letter, it's a signal, a stamp of authenticity that places this coin in an elite category. But the mint mark alone isn't enough. Condition is everything. If your coin has even a hint of wear, don't worry just yet. Some of these nickels, even with minor blemishes, are fetching astonishing prices. The key is in the details, the clarity of the design, the sharpness of the features, and any slight minting errors that make this coin unlike any other. Before we continue, let's hit pause for a second. How often do you check for mint marks on your change? If you're like most people, probably never, right? Well, today might be the day that habit pays off. In fact, did you know that over 90% of people never bother to look at the mint marks on their coins? Crazy, right? Yet those who do, they're finding coins worth hundreds of thousands. Sometimes, all it takes is a closer look at the things we take for granted every day. Alright, so you've found the P mint mark, and your coin is in fantastic condition. What next? How do you make sure that this treasure in your hand translates into a lucrative payday? Now comes the moment of truth. You've identified a potential jackpot coin, now let's get it valued. When it comes to rare coins like these, professional appraisals are key. Find a reputable numismatist, a professional coin dealer who can authenticate and grade your nickel. A high-grade coin in mint state can skyrocket its value to the six-figure mark. And for rare collector's items, the prices can go beyond that, especially if there are unique markings or errors. But here's the real kicker: demand. Coin collectors and investors alike are seeking these rarities to complete their collections, driving prices up as the market becomes increasingly competitive. Every day, people are auctioning off similar coins for jaw-dropping prices. Imagine securing a future with the sale of a single coin. Doesn't that sound incredible? Now, I bet you're wondering, how much would this Monticello Jefferson nickel fetch in an auction today? Well, I'll leave you with this. Recently, similar coins have been listed for as high as $266,788. That's right. One nickel, over $250,000. But with prices constantly fluctuating, who knows how much higher it could go? So, take a good, hard look at those nickels in your possession. Do you have a potential treasure lying in wait? This is your moment to find out, because opportunities like these don't come every day. Hold on to that dream of transforming the ordinary into something extraordinary. Sometimes, all it takes is just one coin to change your life. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you've got more coins or stories you'd like to explore, make sure to hit subscribe and stay tuned for more tips on finding those hidden gems in your pocket change.